Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 best worst reviews of Stevens Pass. That's right, we're continuing on our train of reading the worst reviews of the quote-unquote most epic resorts. Sorry, Vail, you fail. Number 5. Me and some friends drove 2 hours up to Stevens Pass to go skiing. We arrived about an hour before close. I bought a day pass for an hour of skiing for $85. I did not rent anything or buy anything other than the day pass from this location. The next day I had almost $400 in charges to my account. I called them back and all they had to say was, "I'm sorry that happened to you." They told me that what happened to me didn't deserve compensation and there's nothing they can do for me. I was on hold for almost an hour and got transferred 4 times until finally one lady said she would get me a gift card for their $400 mistake. When I got transferred to the gift card department, the lady was very rude and told me she doesn't give anything for free and I can buy a gift card and said, "Why do you think you deserve compensation?" This happened the week before Christmas and I got my checking account completely emptied over an hour skiing. This was my first time ever skiing and I will not be coming back. It's your first time and you literally went an hour before closing and paid full price? Something just does not add up with this review. Shouldn't you be able to call your bank and dispute the charges? I know I can. Seems logical. Number 4, coming in from Jim Osborne on 04/03/2021. Since Vail took over, this place sucks. Way understaffed. They have never got the chairs loading by opening time like all the previous owners did. I usually stand in line for a half hour to an hour watching the one ski patroller do 5 or 6 laps before the chair finally loads. It can take up to 3 days for them to open the upper chair. The employees are disheartened. Just an altogether bad vibe now. Now they up their prices, can't perform, and they shorten the season by 2 weeks with the snow base at its highest. Now you only get a couple of days of spring skiing. Obviously, it's about shareholder profits. Don't pay the staff, shorten the season, don't run all the chairs. Tom Katz, who's in charge, got a $5 million bonus to screw Stevens skiers. I think you mean Rob Katz. I am done after 3 years of this BS. Skied there over 50 years. Just took the last 3 to ruin my winters. Back to Crystal Mountain. At least Alterra can perform and get the mountain open on time or earlier. Done. Ooh, he's in for a harsh reality when he realizes that Icon screwed Crystal. Hope somebody told him. Number 3. My wife and I enjoyed skiing at Stevens for the past 10 years. Today we took our 2 young children there and hired the Stevens Pass Ski School to provide them with their first lessons in skiing. When we returned to the ski school area, close to the end of the morning lesson, we observed the adult male instructor who was assigned to teach my 4-year-old son to ski, acting very frustrated and animated because my son was not able to ski downhill and was having difficulty staying upright on his feet. As we watched from a distance, I saw this ski instructor become more animated towards my son, and finally jab his ski poles into the snow and lift my son up in a rough manner from under his arms and drop him onto his skis. Oof, yeah. At least you didn't body slam him in the lift line. My wife noticed that my son appeared to be crying. I intervened at that point, skied to where my son was, separated him from the instructor, and ended his involvement in the lesson. As we walked back to the ski school building to return my son's rental skis, we were approached by another skier who said she had witnessed what had happened. She said she had formerly worked as a ski instructor at Stevens Pass and was disturbed by the conduct of this instructor towards my son and also the other young boy in the class. She told us she had heard the instructor talking in a very condescending manner, typical, to the 2 4-year-olds in his class, and she was considering reporting this to the ski school management. My wife and I had not been close enough to hear any of the ski instructor's words. There were a couple of other parents nearby and we asked them if they had heard this ski instructor say anything unkind or act inappropriately, and the other parents concurred that this ski instructor had been acting like a jerk to the 2 little kids. I mean, is anyone surprised at this point? I waited outside with my kids while my wife went inside the ski school to speak with the manager. The woman who claimed to be the manager was rude and entirely dismissive of our complaints. This woman who claimed to be the person in charge of the ski school refused to refer us to her immediate supervisor. Probably wasn't one. Then, incredulously, while my wife was engaging in a useless discussion with the person in charge of the ski school, the jerk of a ski instructor who had been hired to teach my son to ski approached my wife and confronted her and asked in a hostile manner, "Do you have anything to say to me?" "Well, yes, we have a few things to say." 1 to the instructor: "You have no business teaching young children anything. Do everyone a favor and get a new job. Good luck finding another employer who will tolerate your attitude." I mean, it's Vail Resorts. They'll probably tolerate them forever. To Stevens Pass Ski Resort: "You clearly have problems in your ski school. You cannot blame this incident entirely on the instructor. There is clearly a management vacuum. The only reason the ski instructor acted as he did towards my son and my wife is because he knew that he could get away with it. There is no management of the ski school. It is hard to believe that a retail service business such as this can stay solvent for long when they treat loyal, long-time customers, or any customer, in this way. I hope the Stevens Pass management read this review and take it to heart. The lift operators and other employees of Stevens Pass have also been very courteous to myself and my family. But after our experience today, I will be taking my family elsewhere to ski." Sounds like that's 4 less skiers on the hill. It's honestly not a bad thing. Oh well, I mean, you're dealing with a ski instructor. I mean, what's the difference between God and a ski instructor? God doesn't think he's a ski instructor. And yes, I will use that joke multiple times. Number 2. After skiing 2 runs at 9 a.m., Bobby and Nancy and I skied down to Thai Mill Chair. With 2 lines open at 10 a.m., I loaded on. Halfway up, the chair stopped after sitting there for 10 minutes. A ski patroller informed me the chair is closed and is running on diesel. He said the closed sign must have been down, that I didn't see it. He also said because it was a mistake, I should be fine. Where the hell were the lifties? After, the chair took me to the top, where 2 patrollers asked to see my Epic Pass. I apologized for not seeing the sign, which wasn't up. Patrol escorted me to their office, where their head supervisor, Josh, asked for my story. He said I cussed out the lifty. Lifty reported me yelling "F you" twice. I have never cussed out a lifty in my life. He suspended my pass for 2 weeks and I had to go home. This is actually pretty typical of Vail Resorts. They'll make up stories just to hot flash your pass because they don't give a fuck. But the fact that you made it halfway up before a patroller noticed you, that's questionable at best. Honorable mentions, all great options, but just barely didn't make the top 5 of this list. Would never recommend a business that hires serial rapists. Look, man, you and everyone else got bent over and taken for a ride you didn't want to go on. I'm sorry that the corporate serial rapists got you. Disgusting restrooms. Needs improvement. I mean, if a bear can shit in the woods, why can't you? The ski shop sold me a set of defective goggles and wouldn't take them back, claiming it was my fault for improperly storing them. Even though I bought another set of the exact same goggles for my girlfriend the exact same day and stored them in the exact same spot, even after showing them both sets of goggles and explaining the situation, they wouldn't do anything about it. Now, looking at the photo here, you definitely dropped these on something and smudged it, scratched it, pushed hard into it. You did something that removed that coating on the outside of the lens. That's on you. That's probably on you. Anyways, these were the honorable mentions. All good options, but just barely didn't crack the list. And the number 1 best worst review of Stevens Pass comes from Christopher. I've been skiing Stevens Pass for 35 years. I love this little area. It has some of the best tree skiing in the Pacific Northwest. Unfortunately, in recent seasons, very little of the mountain is ever open. This forces everybody onto a handful of runs and a fairly minimal number of acres. The result is long lift lines and crowded slopes. I mean, they promised you epicness. They didn't tell you it was going to be good. You got epic lift lines, epic weights. This problem is made worse if there is any fresh snowfall at all. Epic powder panic! On powder days, the mountain frequently opens up to an hour late and the premier runs remain closed. This is a huge disappointment. Meanwhile, the ticket and pass prices go up and up. It seems that most of the reviewers here put the blame squarely on the Vail ownership. I don't know if they are entirely to blame, but I'm certain that the downturn in the quality of the skiing experience at Stevens directly coincides with Vail's taking over operations. So when I lived up there and worked at Stevens Pass, they had parking problems and issues on big weekends and stuff. This is a result of a growing metro area, over marketing, and limitations on space. I know that understaffing is at the heart of the problems. Lifts can't run without operators. Snow control doesn't happen by itself. I also understand that employees are in short supply. Oh yeah, that's given across every mountain town. That said, the problems at Stevens are not shared by other ski areas in the region to any great extent. Other local resorts are able to hire and retain competent staff. Unfortunately, I see a significant amount of patrons taking out their frustrations on the small cadre of employees who have chosen to stay on. I feel bad for these workers, and I can easily imagine that they too will not return, further exacerbating the problem in the years to come. Sadly, I also fully realize that as long as the parking lots are full and the lift tickets are selling, the owners will deem their operation a success. Oh, it's the Vail way. I'll be skiing elsewhere. Previously, the proximity to my home had some influence on my choice to stick with Stevens, but recently traffic issues have become so pervasive on US Highway 2 that I can reach several areas significantly farther away in the same amount of time it takes to commute to Stevens and back. Fuel cost is the only difference. It pains me to write a harsh review of something that I've supported for so long, but there it is. You're not the only one, dude. Vail fucking screwed the pooch. I'm not gonna lie about that. They never should have bought Stevens. They did not know what they were getting into. That resort has some amazing terrain, but you've got to run it the right way. And if you don't run it the right way, it's not going to work. Moving your management out and down to Broomfield, Colorado, stupid. You need boots on the ground. This has been my top 5 best, worst reviews of Stevens Pass. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did I forget some review that is just pure comedic gold? Leave me a comment down below and let's share our thoughts. Anyways, if you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications, that way you're not going to miss any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and well, I gotta continue to be your host because no one else is reading the best, worst reviews of all the Vail resorts, and I'll see you in another video.